Hi, I'm Jolynn Cornelson, holistic nurse and intuitive compassion practitioner. In this video, I'm going to outline 10 key tasks for healing trauma. These are 10 tasks that I have learned from my own trauma healing journey, from my clients, and from my deep dive studies in the fields of neuroscience, trauma healing, intuitive compassion, and energy healing. I'm sure there is much more to learn, but these 10 are top of my mind for today. Now, before I begin, I want to tell you that life is a process, not an event, until it's over. And because you are here watching this video, something inside you is looking for ways to make life better for yourself and those you care about. You've not checked out of here yet, so I'm taking that as permission to share with you some of the things I have learned along my journey, with the hope that you will take what resonates as true for you and use it to empower your own holistic healing. Now, if you find yourself emotionally triggered or upset by anything in this video or any of my other videos or teachings, please just choose to notice what's coming up and make note to have a look at it again later, because it may just be something that is coming up to the surface of your awareness because it is ready to be healed. Whatever trauma you experienced in the past is in the past. Real life happens in the current moment. It is possible to be wounded from something in your past and still be able to create and enjoy a beautiful life in the present. But life can get even better when you truly heal those old traumas. Stepping out of chronic survival mode and into functional flow can give you a whole new perspective and unleash an expansive sense of creativity and joy. So, you can choose to hold on to the pain of the past, to stay in the numbness, the sorrow, the blame game, the drama, the old story. Or you can choose to step into a greater sense of personal power. It is possible to heal. You can learn to transmute the energy of trauma into connection, discernment, and wisdom, and create a whole new future. The question is, are you willing to do what it takes to truly heal? Because sometimes it might seem like things are getting worse before they begin to get better. And that's why the first task is to get connected. Dr. Eric Gentry teaches that psychotherapy research shows us that 90% of success in healing trauma happens within the context of a therapeutic relationship. So, what is a therapeutic relationship? Is it possible to heal from trauma on your own? Well, the why is biological. The human nervous system is wired and programmed for connection. Simply put, we need each other for survival. Human babies are born totally helpless, without the ability to get up and walk within an hour of birth, as many animals can do. It takes months for us to gain the ability to roll over, to sit up, to walk, to speak. And it takes years to learn to do all the tasks we are capable of as adults. Our brain and nervous systems are not truly mature until we are in our 20s. So our formative years are truly formative. During those early years, we have a lot of learning to do. And until we have words, we learn from each other through neurological processes called co-regulation, neuroception, and interoception. These are technical terms for another discussion, but basically, if those who provide care for us when we are tiny have healthy regulated nervous systems, then we have the best chance of healthy development too. If we are not well cared for, Or if we experience things like medical trauma, abuse, neglect, exploitation, accidents, and so on, then we are likely to develop our own nervous system dysregulation. So when it comes to this first task for trauma healing, establishing a therapeutic relationship with someone whose nervous system is well regulated and who is skilled, compassionate, non-judgmental, and supportive will go a long way in helping you heal. In my experience, there are stages in the healing process, and healing from trauma is more than just picking up a prescription from a drive-through pharmacy or taking a few supplements, though those things do have their place. Healing from trauma is a journey, a personal journey, one that is unique to you. There is no one-size-fits-all solution, but there are many commonalities that we can explore. Chances are there may be more than one therapeutic relationship in your process. Maybe you have a family member or friend who is trauma-informed, non-judgmental, and who you feel you can confide in, someone you feel safe with, someone who always has your back no matter what. If you are already on antidepressants or other medications, you do need a licensed practitioner who can work with you to help you titrate off those meds if that's what you choose to do. Maybe you could benefit from having a trauma-informed coach that can connect with you every week. Or maybe you could take a trauma healing class, either online or in person. I'll put some links to some of my favorite resources in this video description, and you can reach out to me at compassionsupport.us if you want to know more about how I work with clients. If nothing else, find others who are on their own healing path. Reach out and connect and support each other. You don't want to drag each other down, but you do want to provide encouragement, hope, and meaningful connection. Task number 2 in the 10 tasks for trauma healing is to learn how to operate your own autonomic nervous system. Our human nervous system is amazing. As a matter of fact, human anatomy and physiology is amazing, and both complex and simple at the same time. Learning how to navigate well through life is a bit like learning to drive a car. You don't have to know all the details under the hood. You just need to learn enough so that you can function well, so you can get in, get going, and get where you want to go. Hopefully, the people with whom you form therapeutic relationships on a trauma healing journey are knowledgeable about the human nervous system and how it works, at least enough to help you learn to navigate and repattern your own nervous system for better functionality. When it comes to trauma healing and human physiology, the most important thing you need to become aware of is how your own autonomic nervous system functions, how you feel, and how it reacts when your survival mechanisms are alerted. That's a more detailed lesson for another video, but basically, look for information about the fight, flight, freeze response and the polyvagal theory. Your autonomic nervous system is always on the lookout for possible threats and can get stuck in survival mode if the threats have been chronic or severe. It won't let go of survival mode unless and until it has evidence that you are safe, and true healing from trauma can only happen when you can shift out of survival mode and into functional flow. Task number 3 of the 10 tasks for trauma healing is to accept and reconnect with your own body. I remember a time in my own holistic healing journey when I was not even able to touch my own body with any semblance of acceptance. I didn't know then what I know now, that disassociation is a mechanism common among those who experience traumas. In fact, I didn't even know that I had experienced developmental trauma. I just thought that's the way the world was and I had to learn to live with it. The household I grew up in valued boys more than girls. As a result, I developed many misperceptions about my own self-worth, about my purpose on earth, about what roles were acceptable, what permissions I had, authority figures, and more. Those misperceptions resulted in some cognitive dissonant, internal conflicts that grew into a lack of self-trust, lack of self-esteem, too much people-pleasing, playing the victim, overachieving, self-sacrificing, self-criticism, and on and on and on. You get my drift. I had a really difficult time with self-acceptance and self-worth. It took a lot of repatterning in those early habits of thoughts and to come to a place of inner peace about who I am, about my personal power, and about my soul purpose. Another big reason to connect with and learn to listen to your own body is that it is constantly giving you clues about what is coming up to be healed. If you want to heal, you need to learn to listen to what it's showing you. Just sitting still and noticing what you are feeling on the inside of your body helps promote autonomic nervous system regulation and trauma healing. And then things like Tai Chi, yoga, Qigong, craniosacral therapy, and even massage can help you reconnect with yourself, especially if you approach your practice with the intention of feeling whole and centered. For me, I did not like to be touched by anyone other than my own husband and my children. Funny, I know, because I chose the field of nursing, which can actually involve a lot of touching. So when it came to my own healing, I first began with learning how to muscle test and get yes or no answers to my own questions. Muscle testing, or applied kinesiology, is used by naturopaths and herbalists to help identify appropriate remedies. Anyone can learn the practice of muscle testing and improve their ability to listen to what the body is telling you, especially if you have the habit of being disconnected from yourself and not attending to your own needs. I learned muscle testing when I studied the emotion code, which is one of the healing modalities that I practice on a daily basis. And that brings us to task number 4 in the 10 tasks for trauma healing. Honor your emotions. As a volatile 13-year-old girl, I was told by someone in authority over me to use my head and not my heart. He thought he was giving me good guidance and that he was doing me a favor, but all it did was cause greater confusion and disconnection from myself and from others. Because I was just 13, I was a bundle of emotions that I didn't know what to do with, and there was nothing in my head yet. I knew it. So the authoritative directive to use your head and not your heart basically told me that I was a worthless scrap of humanity. Yet another developmental wound that caused so much angst over so many years. Now your story is surely different than mine, perhaps much more devastating or maybe even less so. But when it comes to healing the trauma, the story itself is not where to look. The golden key to unlocking trauma healing is found in honoring what you feel, both now and way back when the trauma was blowing its full force upon you. Here's the thing. You can't change what happened in your past. And there are things in this big world of ours that you and I as individuals have no control over. But we can learn to process our emotions in a way that allows the stress that we feel to resolve. Think about it. An emotion in and of itself usually peaks in about 90 seconds and then it subsides. An emotion alone can't hurt you, and you don't have to take action on everything that you feel. But the biochemistry of an unfinished stress response can hurt you, because it gets stored in your physical body and eventually comes out in one form or another. Please, please, please do not let these old, unprocessed stress responses come out in the form of anger or action that causes harm to yourself or others. All you need to do when they come up is to notice them. Get yourself into a space where you can take a moment, listen to your inner self. Notice, what were you doing or thinking or feeling in that moment when the emotion came up? Notice it and sit with it for a bit. Have you got 90 seconds you can listen to your inner self and let a distressing moment pass? Of course you do. And once the emotion has peaked and subsided, know that you have just released one more bit of stored trauma from your system. You have made one more step toward healing. There are many healing modalities and psychology therapies that help you learn to process and resolve difficult emotions. Some of them you can learn just by reading the books. Others, you may need a practitioner to help you. I promise, though, that healing is possible. Whew, those first 4 tasks in healing trauma seem like a lot, but you did not get where you are in just one day, so it's going to take more than one video for you to get to where you want to go. If what I am sharing adds value to your journey, please take a quick moment to like, subscribe, comment, or ask me a question. I genuinely want to help as much as I can on your trauma healing journey, and the feedback you give will help me know what to share next. Thank you for watching, and thank you for connecting. Next up is task number 5 in the 10 tasks for trauma healing. To learn to differentiate between real and perceived threats. When you are in the process of learning to navigate your own autonomic nervous system, and you can notice when your fight, flight, freeze reactions are triggered to the on position, it's important to train yourself to notice whether something is truly a threat or if your system is simply reacting habitually to things that are not truly immediate threats to your survival. Remember, it is possible for the autonomic nervous system to actually get stuck in high alert, survival mode, all of the time. This can happen in situations where there has been repeated traumas, chronic unsafe conditions, medical traumas, relationship trauma, natural disasters, geopolitical stress, or even in families where trauma energies and behavioral patterns get passed down through generations. Yes, ancestral trauma is a thing, and it can be affecting you, and it can be cleared. For now, just know that as a human being, not only do you have an amazing autonomic nervous system that aims to keep you safe at any time and in any situation, you also have a cognitive consciousness that can help you discern whether a threat is real and immediate and that you need to take action, or whether the current situation is simply relatively normal, but that your system is hypervigilant and that in truth you can relax. There's lots more to know about differentiating between real and perceived threats, but this video is not meant to solve all our problems at once. So let's move on. Task number 6 in the 10 tasks for trauma healing is to be patient with yourself. True healing is a holistic process, not a one-time event. Again, you did not get where you are in just one day. Your nervous system patterns and processes, thoughts and feelings have been developed over your whole lifetime. So just that you find yourself in a seemingly intolerable state of being right now is no reason for you to lose your cool. You are human, and humans are fallible. We make mistakes, we hurt, we love instant gratification and endless bliss. So when life gives us trouble, we don't much like it. This task, like all the others in this video, has many facets that can be explored, but there are just 3 that I want to touch on here. and I'll let you think about them for a while. First, when it comes to healing trauma, forgiveness of yourself and others will progress you along your healing journey a very long ways. But forgiveness is pretty tough to come to grips with when you're feeling so much hurt from what happened in the past. So before forgiveness comes compassion, true compassion, pure compassion for yourself and for others and for the situation. Now, yes, I'm talking pure compassion as in divinely inspired compassion. This intuitive compassion allows your experience of anguish, grief, and sorrow to be heard, seen, validated, and acknowledged, and then eventually, hopefully, released. After that, when you're ready, you will find that forgiveness can be much more possible. And then, when you feel more whole, truly healed, and you can see yourself from a soul perspective, gratitude steps into the scene. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with your process. Be patient with others. True healing is a holistic process, not a one-time event. Number 7 of the 10 tasks for trauma healing is to remember the truth of who you really are. The truth of this matter is that you are far more than who you appear to be in this world. You are an eternal being. You are a child of the universe on a journey of the soul. You came here to experience a physical reality, to expand your consciousness, and to live your soul gifts. When you can see yourself from this eternal perspective, you have greater power to discern truth from error and to let go of what is not in the highest and best good, and to more easily create a life that you love living. Now here we are at number 8 of the 10 tasks for trauma healing, and this one is to detoxify your life. Now, detoxification is a proven process in the healing of physical inflammation, and there are multiple methods for physical detox, some that are more effective than others. I encourage you to research nutrition, exercises, and other approach to detox, and to seek out appropriate medical, natural, functional, or integrative healthcare practitioners for help and guidance with specific conditions. But also, consider the possibility that physical health issues, including inflammatory conditions, could have underlying energetic, emotional, or stress-related components. Medical research tells us that stress contributes to what are called lifestyle diseases, things like heart disease, cancer, high blood pressure, strokes, obesity, and many, many more. We often assume that the stress they are referring to is external, like job stress or financial stress. That's what I thought, but when I delved into recent neurobiology research, learning the polyvagal theory and trauma healing therapies, then I heard professionals say that the stress we experience can be inner stress, that the stress can come from within us. What? We're stressing ourselves? Yes. And here's one way, in a nutshell, that it can happen. When we experience traumatic events, our nervous systems go on high alert. That means adrenaline, cortisol, and a host of biochemical reactions spark off in our systems, affecting our internal organs, our muscles, our bones, our brain, and every part of who we are, as part of the normal survival response. Now, that's a good thing because we do survive, but in current developed society, many of these threats are simply perceived rather than being immediately real. So what happens is when we figure out that there's no action we can take to fight or flee, all that biochemical stress energy that we started gets stored somewhere down inside of us. And unless we learn to let it out, to process it as it rises, and let it subside in socially appropriate ways, then over time, through the years, we have so much unprocessed stress energy built up in our systems that we just can't hold it in anymore. And one way or another, it comes out. Some of us blow up our relationships. Others implode our health. One book I read about trauma years ago said that when those who experience trauma in their childhoods reach a power point in their lives, somewhere around 30 or 40 years of age, then they either get help, like you're doing, or they repeat the patterns of abuse that played out upon them when they were children, and they themselves become abusive. The good news is that those like you who are lucky enough to realize that there is a need to make changes, to detoxify their life and restore their sense of well-being and heal those patterns of traumatic experiences in their families, these people, you figure out appropriate ways to let go of that old trapped, unprocessed stress energy. Some people do it somatically, meaning through things like Qigong, Tai Chi, yoga, dance, sports, swimming, walking, or other exercise that gets the body moving and the mind unwinding and the spirit relaxing, which is what needs to happen in order to fully heal. Some people start directly with the mindfulness methods, like energy clearing modalities, or somatic therapies like massage or craniosacral work, or EMDR, or emotional clearing modalities. Now that's where I began. First, what happened to me was a stress-induced health meltdown. Then naturopathic care for nutrition changes and detox. Then craniosacral therapy and emotion release work. At first, I did not even realize that I was a typical ACE studies example, someone who had so many unprocessed adverse childhood experiences that my health was affected even decades after I grew up and left home. I had been an overachiever and a voracious learner all my life, following the use your head part of my upbringing, and yet guarding my heart even while I cared for others in my family and doing my nursing work. I've been on my own holistic healing journey for over 10 years now, and I'm happy to report that I rarely experience emotional triggers anymore. But when I do, I have the skills I need to resolve those inner issues and to reset my nervous system from stressed to serene. My journey has been long and sometimes difficult, but it's oh so worth it. Now, in order for you to detoxify your life, you need to be willing. You need to be willing to shift out of past perceptions, to be willing to consciously change habitual thought patterns and emotional trauma, and to be willing to step into the present moment where you have the ability to create a more sure sense of inner safety, where you can reach out and solidify healthy connections, and where you can make the best of things in the here and now. Be willing to acknowledge and appreciate the past, to let go and to grow. Start where you are and go forward. You'll be so glad you did. All successful trauma healing is accomplished through intention. The intention to resolve old detrimental stress-related patterns and to open your heart to create a better future for yourself and those you love, for those you care for, and for those in your circle of influence. So here we are at number 9 of the 10 tasks for trauma healing, and that is knowing that authentic healing is possible. Now, I truly believe that. We came here as children of the divine, from the quantum field of creation. We have the power within us to create deep, lasting, soul-satisfying relationships. We have the power within us to create and enjoy amazing adventures in this life and to explore all of what it means to be human. Sadly, some systems in our societies do not bring out the best in us or in others. It is common to be short-sighted when you don't know how to fix things or how to make effective changes in your work, your family, your community, or least of all in the world. Our educational systems may be lacking, but scientific knowledge to heal ourselves and our world is available. We just have to research it and put it into practice. My journey took me on a winding road that revealed to me how I could harmonize all 5 aspects of my human consciousness: physical, energetic, spiritual, subconscious, conscious awareness. I have cleared millions of individual, ancestral, and collective stressful trapped emotions. I have come to a place of self-acceptance and neuroregulation, and I am so grateful that I have the skills to process whatever comes up to be healed, and the skills to help support others on their healing journey through creating educational videos like this and through my intuitive compassion practice. I'm still on my journey. I think I will be for the end of my days, but I have come a long way and I have learned a great many lessons. I pray that you will be blessed abundantly on your own journey too. Authentic healing is possible. Believe, do the work, receive. And now here we are, number 10 of the 10 tasks for trauma healing. This one is simple and straightforward. Here we go. Learn new stuff, get some serious skills, empower yourself, and optimize your life. Remember, you cannot drive a car to a different destination unless you first learn how to open the door, get into the seat, turn on the car, get it in gear, step on the gas, and get it going in the right direction. Plus, you need to know the rules of the road to go safely where you want to go. The trauma healing process can sometimes get to you. I know. I remember when I was in the phase of doing ancestral healing work using a particular modality along with my intuitive compassion practice. I'd walk around the house and walk by my grandmother's rocking chair, and sometimes in my mind's eye, I would see grandmother number 32 sitting in it, rocking patiently. One time I got so mad at the incessant noticing and clearing of negative emotions that I put a plant in that chair so she couldn't sit in it. Another time in meditation, I yelled at my ancestors asking why they only brought me pain and sorrows to clear. Why couldn't they bring me something beautiful and uplifting? And immediately in my mind I heard, "You want something uplifting?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Okay." And she gave me a song from her childhood, a song I had never heard before. I find myself singing it in the shower, 3 verses, all the words, the whole thing. I got out of the shower and wrote it down so as to be able to remember it. And then the next thing I knew, I was back to clearing detrimental, ancestral, emotional energies again. Now, you are a different person than I am. I mean, how many of us really talk to our ancestors and clear generational pain? Who among us developed the skills to process emotions in the moment, to intentionally train our nervous systems to switch from surviving to thriving within just a moment or two? Who really frees themselves from the burdens of the past enough to create something wonderful in the present? I know who. You do. Because you are here watching this video about 10 tasks for trauma healing. Science has proven that it's possible. You want to let go and to grow. So yes, learn new stuff, get some serious skills in whatever you are interested in and gifted at, and empower yourself to be your best self, to optimize your life. Making things better starts with you, right here, right now, in this moment. You can do it, and if I can, I'll help you along your journey. Because it is my belief that in the quantum field of creation, we are all connected. We are, each and every one, a child of God, and therefore we are brothers and sisters on our journeys of exploration and soul expansion. and in essence, we are all walking each other home. It brings joy to my heart to witness the healing miracles of those I am blessed by grace to assist. In this video, I shared 10 tasks for trauma healing. I learned these through my own holistic healing journey, through my private practice, and through studying the work of many researchers and master practitioners in the field of trauma healing. We could do a deep dive on each of these 10 tasks. Please let me know what questions you have and how I can help you further. If you would like to explore the possibility of working with me professionally, please go to compassionsupport.us. You can see the links in the description for other resources. Many blessings to you and yours.